Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In this video, we're going to have a look at top symptoms of bad engine speed sensor. The engine speed sensor is a very critical component of your vehicle's engine management system. It monitors the speed of the engine crankshaft, providing essential data engine control unit for proper ignition timing, fuel injection, and overall engine performance. When the engine speed sensor fails, it can lead to range of performance issues and even prevents the engine from starting. Let's have a look at some of the top symptoms of a bad engine speed sensor. Well, the first and most obvious symptom is a check engine light that illuminates on your dashboard. A faulty engine speed sensor often triggers the check engine light when the ECU detects irregular or missing signal from the engine speed sensor. Then it alerts you by turning the check engine light on. So, if you happen to notice that the check engine light remains illuminated, then use an OBD2 scanner to check for error codes. 2. Engine stalling. Bad engine speed sensor can cause the engine to stall at low engine speed or during idling. If your engine stalls frequently, then inspect the engine speed sensor. If the ECU has no information as to how fast the engine is running, then it will have a problem keeping it up. So especially if the engine is turning off, stalling at idle speed, it usually goes to the engine speed sensor. 3. Difficulty starting the engine. The engine speed sensor provides critical data for the ignition system. So if it fails, the engine may struggle to start or fail to start altogether. If your car cranks but doesn't start, the sensor could be a problem. A failing sensor can make it difficult for the engine to start, especially in cold weather due to incorrect timing and due to wrong fuel delivery. So if car struggles to start in cold weather, then it's a good time to check for the engine speed sensor as well. A completely failed engine speed sensor can prevent the engine from starting altogether. So as the ECU cannot determine the crankshaft position and the crankshaft speed at which it is spinning, then that will prevent the engine from starting at all. So if your car cranks but doesn't start at all, that could be caused by a failing speed sensor. 4. Rough idle. A faulty sensor can disrupt the air-fuel mixture and ignition timing, causing uneven or rough idling. So listen for any irregularity on engine sound, engine vibration when the car is stationary or when the engine is running at idle. If you notice that the engine is running rough, it could be caused by faulty engine speed sensor. 5. Engine misfire. Bad engine speed sensor can also cause the engine to misfire due to incorrect ignition and incorrect fuel injection. Misfires often feel like jerking or hesitation during acceleration. If you lately notice that your engine is jerking or hesitating to accelerate, a failing sensor can cause it. A failing sensor can cause the engine to hesitate or struggle during acceleration. So, test your car acceleration and note any sluggishness that could be associated by bad engine speed sensor. 6. Reduced fuel efficiency. Faulty sensor can disrupt the air-fuel ratio, causing the engine to burn more fuel than necessary. So, monitor your fuel consumption, fuel efficiency. A sudden drop in mile per gallon could indicate a sensor problem. 7. Engine surging. A malfunctioning engine speed sensor can cause the engine to surge or suddenly increase in RPM without the driver input. So pay attention to unexpected surge while driving. Unstable engine performance is also an indication of bad engine speed sensor. If the engine is running erratically, if there is an erratic behavior such as fluctuating RPM or inconsistent power delivery, that could be attributed to a faulty engine speed sensor. So look for engine performance irregularities. If you happen to notice there is irregularities, that could be caused by faulty engine speed sensor. The other symptom of a faulty engine speed sensor is transmission shifting problem. A vehicle with an automatic transmission, the engine speed sensor data is very crucial for shifting timing. So a faulty sensor can cause harsh or delayed as it could be causing transmission shifting problem. Engine knocking is another symptom of a bad engine speed sensor. This will be caused because if the speed sensor is not providing the correct information, incorrect ignition timing can lead to engine knocking. That could be noticed by pinging noise, pinging sound, or abnormal loud pop. Listen for knocking sound coming from the engine. If you notice there is a pinging noise, that could be caused by a failing engine speed sensor. Loss of power is another symptom. A failing sensor can cause the engine to lose power, making it difficult to maintain speed or climb hill. If your car feels underpowered, then it could be caused by faulty speed sensor. If the engine starts dying while driving, faulty sensor could be the cause. If the engine shuts off unexpectedly while driving, creating a very dangerous situation, that could be caused by a failing engine speed sensor. Increased emission is another symptom of a failing engine speed sensor, as a faulty sensor disrupts the air-fuel mixture, leading to higher emission or pollutants. So have your vehicle's emission tested, and if that test indicates that the engine emission is off, it could be caused by faulty speed sensors that will cause the air-fuel mixture to be wrongly calculated. Erratic tachometer reading is another indication. A tachometer relies on data from the engine speed sensor. A faulty sensor can cause the tachometer to display incorrect or erratic RPM reading. If your tachometer behaves oddly, this is probably the number one indication of a failing engine speed sensor. The engine speed sensor generates the data that is required for display of the tachometer. So if there is erratic reading on the tachometer, most definitely that could be caused by a faulty engine speed sensor. In some cases, a failing sensor can cause the engine to overheat due to incorrect ignition timing or due to wrong fuel delivery. So monitor your engine temperature gauge and address overheating issues immediately. This could be triggered by multiple problems, including ignition timing problem, including cooling system related problems and other problems as well. But it could also be triggered by a failing engine speed sensor. Increased fuel smell can also be attributed to bad sensor. This could be caused because if there is a bad sensor, the ECU has no information to correctly calculate the air-fuel ratio. Then, if the ECU starts delivering rich mixture to the engine, that will result in strong fuel smell inside or outside the vehicle. So, investigate for source of smell. If there is increased fuel smell, then investigate the main cause. It could be caused by a faulty speed sensor that will lead to wrong fuel calculation. In extreme cases, a failing speed sensor can also cause spark plug falling. Rich mixture that is caused by bad sensor can fault the spark plugs, leading to poor combustion and problematic engine performance. So inspect the spark plugs for black sooty deposit. If you notice that there is a spark plug falling problem, it could be caused by any of the many problems associated with engine speed management. So these are some of the top symptoms that indicate if there is a problem with engine speed sensor. So how do you go about and diagnose a bad engine speed sensor? Well, the first thing you can do is check for error codes related to engine speed sensor. Then look for physical damage, corrosion, or loose connection at the sensor itself. So visual inspection and inspection using a multimeter to check the sensor resistance and voltage output can also be one of the things that you can do in order to diagnose a bad engine speed sensor. You can use a scan tool to observe the sensor's reading in real time as well. Most engines require replacement between 100,000 to 150,000 miles. If you notice any of the above symptoms ahead of this timing, then have the sensor inspected and replaced immediately. So a bad engine speed sensor can significantly impact your vehicle performance, your fuel efficiency, and drivability. By recognizing the symptoms early and addressing them promptly, you can avoid costly repairs and keep your car running smoothly. So if you suspect your engine speed sensor is failing, then don't delay. Get it checked and have it replaced if it requires replacement. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you regarding some of the symptoms of a bad engine speed sensor. If you find this video helpful and if you like it, please smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, do consider subscribing, turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.